Let's do a brief recap. You've already explained to the buyer just how hard it is to solve the problem he's dealing with. And you've given clear evidence. Not just anyone can solve this problem, it's you. Then, to earn credibility, the credibility you deserve, you've objectively described what your product is and how it works. You're almost ready to sell your product. But first, clear the path into the buyer's mind by showing him that you understand the frustration he's having. Your buyer wants to know that you appreciate how hard his life is. Do this correctly, he will then understand that you and he were meant to work together. Using the example I described in our earlier video, the Dyson vacuum cleaner company, right? It doesn't have to mention its competitors' failings and problems or faults. He doesn't need to criticize them in any cheesy way whatsoever. He only needs to categorize the competitors as conventional vacuums in order to demote them to a place that is far below his own solution. Think about it this way, a script that would work for Dyson. For homeowners who are frustrated by the weak suction of conventional vacuums and the high amount of effort to clean even small areas, our model J27 is a new category of cleaners called robo-janitors. Unlike conventional products by Hoover, GE, or Bissell, robo-janitors do not ever clog, as they have no filters and they do not rely on parts that typically wear out. So that's one way to do it. Look, after you've identified the frustration you're solving and reframed your competition, then you can talk about the features and benefits of your product. Imagine that. Instead of spending 10, 20, or even 30 minutes on all the features of your product in a way that buyers can't get into their head, can't get their head around it, you're going to spend less than 3 minutes on that stuff because the buyer will believe and trust every word you say. And you'll create so much wanting and desire that a follow-up meeting will be set, the sale will be set in motion, and you're on the way to a close. By now, I think you can see the special order in which I present information. It works because it was shown to me by cognitive psychologists who understand how the brain works. These cognitive guys, they're researchers. They don't care about how people think, what kind of arguments you can make. Cognitive psychologists care about how information flows through the brain as chemical and electrical impulses. For them and me as well. So-called sales psychology, the stuff you're used to, is too hard to figure out. Is your buyer touchy-feely or a logical thinker? Is he a visual or auditory thinker, decision maker? Did he look up and to the left or touch his ear when you said the word agreement? Look, I'm not an FBI profiler and neither are you, and half that stuff is usually wrong. What I'm describing to you here, it works because it's how the brain works. It's how the brain of a buyer has been trained to think over 50 million years. Remember, I told you not to act needy? That's because neediness created fear in ancient humans, and it still does in people today. To be truly convincing, you don't need a better way to close or a better way to explain your features and benefits. You need to maintain your high status position in the business relationship from start to finish and destroy any opportunity for buyers to fall back into their defensive subconscious behaviors. And for them to get analytical questions on you and into your conversation that get in the way of doing good business. And by good business, I mean business on your terms at fair, high margin, and fun to do. Here's a quick summary of what I did to make the pitch and move the sale forward. I opened with an idea that established my business credentials and my seniority. I talked about the hard problem that I'm solving, and I described how I solve it, and I give a few product details. I explained the frustration that I solve for, and I reframed my competition as people who aren't even in my same level of play. Only when my customer is impressed, interested, and engaged, and wanting to do business with me, I share some really substantial details of the features and the benefits of my product. By the time I start selling, my customer is quickly sold. I don't want to talk for very long, right? And I don't want to overstay my welcome. A few minutes at most. And when I'm done talking, I need to confirm the next step and start heading for the door. Like sometimes literally. Make sure the buyer is excited and either wants the product right now or has enough desire to set the big meeting where a longer and more detailed pitch is given. Remember, this is only a 6-minute pitch to get people wanting what you have. That's right. I'm on a tight timeline. I'm on a tight schedule. I have other customers to get to, and I don't beg for orders. Now you have it. A 6-minute pitch that works in any selling situation. Sure, we talked about mops and vacuum cleaners and some fun stuff here, but that's just to show the format. Fortune 500 companies, or my clients, many private companies, they're doing this for complicated products, security software, financial services, medical devices, and equipment sales. You can adapt the elements of this method to your product or service and watch revenue go up and conversion rates steadily increase. That's what we all want. As I pointed out along the way, this stuff takes a little effort and training. So get the resources you need and do a little practice and get great at it. I'm sure I'll see you there.